Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, the honorable judges. Today, in this fine morning, I'm Farryzki Noor Thoriq from Senior High School 1 Bojonegoro, act as a Prime Minister of the government side of the House, and would like to deliver speech on the motions of this House would arrange the student in the classroom based on their intelligence and their academic performance rather than their age. First, there's a trend of decline in academic activity and achievement over the past years due to the implementations of a regular class and the spreading of students over this class without a single parameter. This policy is made worse by the implementations of zonation system in school admission systems, and this policy is literally causing a mixture in the many students of a different backgrounds without looking in their academic achievement and intelligence. This fact that the system makes an enormous amount of students doesn't have a suitable environment to develop their skills, ability, and intelligence. And this fact is supported by many short research, such as the one from Media Compass and other Indonesian credible media that haven't taken this issue seriously. And this dilemma needed to be changed, and the policy of changing into intelligence and academic performance-based class distribution system is needed. And I, as a Prime Minister of the government side of the House, will do everything in my power to change these systems, especially in the government-owned schools. First, to lightly interpreting our motions and avoid any ambiguity, I would like to state some definition that our side of the House will often use in this case. First is classroom. Classroom is a room typically in school in which classes of students is taught. And second is academic performances. Academic performance or academic achievement is an extent of to which a students, teachers, or institution has attained their short-term or long-term educational goals. And third is the student. Student is a person who is studying at school and college. And fourth is a school, an institutions for learning students. And we as a government side of the House would like to point our limitations of these motions at this point. First is just to implementing this policy into state-owned schools that needed much needed reform regarding to these cases. And the second is that we will not disturb the independence or the autonomy of a private educational system, which has previously have reformed their educational system. And me as a Prime Minister of the House would like to have urgent point why this policy needed to be changed, and why we need to implement a policy of distributing class based on their academic performance. It's first that students with a higher quality of intelligence, and academics need an environment of a classroom that is suitable for their development and their competitive spirit. And the second is that a policy of randomly mixing students in the class created some kind of social tensions between more active academic students and more passive ones. And third is that age is not parameter in any of educational performances. And the fourth is that the existing policy is downgrading the quality of educations in these beloved countries. And me as the government side of the House would like to have a clear and executable mechanism that will able to implement this policy. First is that me as the head of government will revise and enacted law number 20 year 2030 about the national education systems to more modernized and flexible manner to implement this policy. And second is that I will revoke the Ministry of Education regulations number 14 year 2018 about the school zoning system to hopefully prevent this problem in the first place. And third is that make a ministerial regulations on a class system that place the student based on their performance and academics and intellectual achievement, rather than just randomly mixing the students in the class regarding to the age and not their academic performance. And fourth is that make a socializations about this policy to provincial and local educational department, such as in the province and in the regency in many parts of Indonesia. And finally, our side of the House have an argument of why our motions and especially our policy of supporting and implementing this policy is of utmost importance. First is randomly arranging students in the class. It's not fair. because this system is literally mixing people without regarding their merit or their intellectual capabilities. And this sounds more like a socialist system where we know that it doesn't work in our merit-based ideology. And the evidence of this matter is known at zoning system lately, where many pupils' parents use everything in their power to get their average children to more higher school level. And it's causing a lot of problem, like corruptions, bribery, and document forgery. And this due to the same fact that school and class arrangement is not based on academical and intelligent performance, and rather to the distance of the pupils' house to their schools. This fact propel us, the government side of the house, to immediately change this policy to more merit and hopefully fair system. And second is that the student that have more ability of intelligence have a higher mental and stress issue, because of the kid who has much higher degree of intelligence than their random and often not academical friends is tend to experience a verbal harassment, bullying, and many even more, and causing pressure to their mentality and even further to their health. This fact researched by the first-tier medical startup of Indonesia called HelloDoc that stated smart students tends to have a higher medical pressure than their passive counterpart, and this fact derives us, the government side of the house, to change the existing policy of randomly arranging students in the class based on their ages into more merit system of arranging students on the class based on academic performance. And the third of our argument is that the existing system is downgrading the national education policy quality. Based on Compass Media research, the existing policy of randomly arranging students is having a significant impact into the number of academic achievement in certain schools. This fact propel us, the government side of the house, to change the policy into more merit system to hopefully increase the national education quality compared to other countries. This our argument of mentioning of arranging students in the classroom based on the intelligence and their academic performance rather than their age, and based on quick research of our government side of the house. And me, as a head of the government, also called Prime Minister, would like to thank you for the honorable judges for listening to our speech. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.